Fabulous. Thank you so much, Leslie. And welcome to another Friday. And can I thank Leslie and Hugh for holding the fort again last week while I'm off learning some new things that I can bring to Outdoors New South Wales and ACT. But yeah, let's kick off for another Friday. And firstly, let me connect us with our beginning and pay my respects to our Aboriginal people, past, present and emerging leaders in which are navigating the lands and caring for the lands as we are today. And we want to work with them closely to understand the history that came a lot before us and help our visitors and people that are connecting with our experiences understand more about our heritage and the land, and there's so many people that have trodden on these lands before us. So let's kick off, and wow, it's interesting times to say the least. If you're anything like me at the moment, I'm exhausted and I'm waiting for Christmas, just so I can at least say I'm going to have a day off. But look, it's an interesting time that we have to navigate with grants and assistance as we come out of lockdown. As everyone knows, our public health orders have allowed us to get back to our activity, and well done, Melbourne, on coming out of lockdown last night. I was totally warmed by the videos this morning of 11:59 switching over to midnight and hearing the cheers across all of Melbourne and the Melbourne city. But look, it's still hard times to navigate. We've got to work out what we can get back, what activity we can start with, while, as I was on your screen there, the grants start scaling back. And as you can see there, pretty much as of the end of November, the government will be reducing all of the support that it's given us during COVID and keeping our industries alive. But they did release yesterday their strategy for New South Wales. So still yet to see anything from the ACT government on their post-COVID strategy, but New South Wales released their recovery strategy yesterday. And you've been seeing and hearing some of those announcements over the course of the week with some of the stimulus and opportunities for the industry. But you can see that that's been delivered in three separate areas: the immediate response, the securing and recovery, and then the growing of the economy. And certainly that targeted and timely support is where we're talking with the government at the moment about some of the areas in our industry that cannot get back to camp, for example, and have our school students come back in a timely fashion, and what support the government can give us in that area. Those discussions are continuing, and I'm hoping that I can report the success of any of that in the very near future. But needless to say, we have got some areas that we are going to benefit as an industry holistically from these stimulus packages and also the recovery efforts. And you might have heard yesterday the $250 voucher that is part of the Stay and Rediscover program. The $50 accommodation gift vouchers will be available for New South Wales adults, as well as a $250 voucher for all school students' families, in thanks for the efforts that we've applied during homeschooling, and they will be able to be redeemed in outdoor activities. So guys, here is your opportunity. If you haven't been part of the Dine and Discover voucher, needless to say, please do jump in and try to maximize your efforts on those new vouchers that are coming out. But particularly with this $250 voucher that's going to every single family in New South Wales, make sure you're in there showing what outdoor activities, outdoor adventures can be part of that voucher. Register your business and then let us know. If we don't know you're part of this program, we can't help promoting you. So please register, let us know, and we will help get the word out. The other area is there is some new sport and recreation packages that have been announced, and we're still yet to see the detail on that. And there's more going to apprenticeship and traineeships. Taking you back a couple of months ago, we talked about the need for traineeships in our industry, trying to get people to think about that as their jobs are coming up and how they can tap into that. Hunter TAFE has come up with a great new model to get people through their Cert 4 quicker than ever before. And part of a traineeship program. There is so much opportunity in relation to traineeships. So please start jumping into this if you're not already. And with this announcement, we know that there's going to be more assurity of finances going to that area. The other areas that you can see on the screen are around youth, community and regional sport and community-based initiatives to improve resilience and well-being. This is what we're talking about. This is what we do. So there's some great stuff that's being announced, and we've got to make sure that we take advantage of some of these opportunities that be before us. But we will update you with the discussion on the school camp side, which is probably the hardest part that we're navigating right now. There is also the announcement of the confidence guarantee, and certainly for those guys that are operating school camps, school holiday camps or anything of that nature or events, there is a reassurance from the government that they've got some support there if for whatever reason there is a lockdown or a public health order that restricts that movement, that there'll be some rebates available for expenses incurred because of that. So pleasing news for to say the least. 11 o'clock today, the New South Wales tourism campaign brought to you by Destination New South Wales will be launched, a brand new campaign. It'll be interesting to see the makeup of what they're going to do in getting more people into regions, into Sydney. So that's happening at 11 o'clock today. If you haven't registered, you can certainly still do that and join me at 11 o'clock when we watch the New South Wales brand being released. You've heard a little bit about this on social media, but we've got a massive webinar that we've been so lucky to partner with the Department of Education and also Study Work Grow in building more awareness about careers in the outdoors. So we're really excited about this opportunity, and we're trying to really drive home to parents and school leavers, but also years 9, 10, 11 to really look at this and get a bit more of an understanding. And now I'm pleased to say it's pretty much in all schools in New South Wales, thanks to the REAP team at the Department of Education. There is a heap of free courses. So part of the recovery efforts in the state has gone into training and education. So if you have staff that potentially are not doing too much over summer, there is a massive amount of summer skills that heavily relate to the areas of where we work. So there's a great opportunity to tap into some of that. Oh, sorry. I've changed the screen. And there's also the mental health training that you would have seen in your newsletter this week. And certainly that is an area of need right across our sector, so that we can help a lot of people that potentially need some guidance in finding that next person that you need to talk to in mental health. There is a couple of grants being announced, and the one that I thought I'd highlight today is the local sport grant program, because it is actually open to active recreation as well. And you can see there that you can look at development projects, event projects, increasing access and increasing amenity and facilities. So they are open now, and they close on the 19th of November. So if you've got an idea, you're working with a not-for-profit, this is only open to not-for-profits. But if you're a business, you can work with a not-for-profit and get them to auspice it if it's showing community benefit. So have a look at those grants and you might be eligible to jump in there. ABAT, we had the AGM last week, which is the Bush Adventure Therapy team and the network, which is right across the country. And they've got their symposium coming up on the 3rd and 4th of November. So if you're connected with the health and wellbeing and certainly the nature therapy side of our industry, this is a great opportunity to jump in and hear from some great speakers on techniques and opportunities in that area. And we have our New South Wales delegates that were announced at the AGM. So welcome to Brianna and Claire, and they'll actually join us in the future and certainly give us some more updates on what ABAT is actually up to. Now, highlighted in the newsletter too is that emphasis on you need to keep us informed. We can only help you with the content that we actually have. So whether it's a situation that you found yourself in and you're trying to battle please reach out. I know a lot of you do, and I thank you for that. But, you know, if you're finding yourself battling with some challenges, we need to know if we're there to help. And also what jobs you have on offer, because with our Study Work Grow partnership now, we can actually have those jobs put into those weekly newsletters that go far and wide. And also tell us if you're going to be part of the Dine and Discover or this new Rediscover program as well. Again, we will promote you if we know you're part of that program. So just another reminder as well, I know, and Leslie highlighted this perfectly last week, but as we get back to activity, everyone knows that we're the most vulnerable without having set programs, set processes, and repetition of what we do every day. We're getting back to something that's quite new after three or so months. So operate within your capacity. Make sure that you are familiarising your staff again with all the processes and policies you have in place, and do those checks, rechecks, and triple checks. Make sure you're COVID compliant, and as I've always said, the public health orders are the bare minimum. Raise the bar to protect you, your guests, and the industry. And don't forget the AAAS audits are there for you as well. So on that note, I'm going to finish today with our AGM presentation, but we have a guest speaker here today that's going to talk very specifically about a need that everyone has, and that is in regards to websites and the success for your business. So can I invite Evie, who is just incredible in this space, to share with us some of those tips and real key items that we need to consider when looking at our own websites. So Evie, I'm going to hand over to you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen.
Beautiful.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. I'm coming to you from South Australia, where we've been lucky enough to be not locked down for quite some time now. So my thoughts are with everybody and what you've been through. So Laurie's, I just finished redesigning the visitor economy development website, and Laurie asked me to speak with you today about maximizing. I guess for me, it's not even so much about the technical aspects of having a website. It's more about your online image and what people are seeing. So I'm going to go through a little slideshow. So a little bit about me. I've been in the Air Force. I've lived in Brisbane, Victoria, New South Wales, Northern Territory, all over the place. I've worked in business development in a hotel group. I've been an executive assistant. And I guess all of those life job experiences, I found myself isolated in a little country town looking after my mum. And I'm a very creative being, and I'm a worker. And there was a town of 100 people. And I went, what am I going to do? So I started doing some websites for friends that needed them. I needed one myself. So then with the Wix platform, which is, as you'll learn, the only platform that I do work on. I do dabble in a few of the others, but I use Wix for a reason. So they offered Wix training back then, and partnerships, as in I don't get any monetary benefit, but I get inquiries through Wix. So if you go onto their platform and request an expert or somebody to help you, that inquiry could come through to me. I'm now at legendary status. So they've like made all these different levels, and they named them really bad names. So legend just means I've done over 100 sites, and yeah, it's been a really nice platform to work with. Small business and creatives is what I'm all about. So I'm not looking to build websites for large companies or do any back-end development. I'm all about giving online presence to small businesses that don't have thousands of dollars to throw at a website. So for me, it's a mix of functionality and image. So I'm going to go through a little bit about that. I did this slide because everybody, including myself, has an opinion and advice about websites and social media, and like, don't use Wix, use WordPress, like, are you on Google My Business, like things that you may not even have heard about before. And so it can get really confusing, and if you're not a technical person who lives online, you might find that all very daunting. And so then you say, I don't have a website and I don't want one. Leave me alone. So a few reasons why a website, to me, is a necessity. So it legitimizes your business and increases trust. Every business, no matter its size or age, should have a website. A website is a statement of legitimacy and a way of instilling confidence in your business. Without one, your business could lack credibility. It could be seen as too small or too new to trust. You'll limit your ability to reach new clients and persuade them to do business with you. So for me, if I'm a customer that's looking for accommodation, I might go on bookings.com just because it's easy, but then I will try and find that website and see what the rooms look like better, and what else they have to offer. And a lot of the time, if you book direct with the accommodation or Airbnb place, it's cheaper. So that's how I operate as a client. And I think with all of my websites that I do, I really try and look at it from that consumer's point of view. So websites make you visible. So whether, like I just said, whether you're looking at someone a bit closer, yes, I think back in the day, not so long ago, really, we all used to go to Facebook to check them out, to see if they're real, to see, what was happening, what they're doing, what the activity is. But I found even myself, like, I've backed right away from Facebook. But it's about finding your where your audience is and serving them, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, depending what it is. A presence on the web is great for customers, potential employees, all of those like partnerships that you might have. And when I was thinking about this, I was thinking also about, I've got a lady that's a chef, and she wants to promote her services through some of the Airbnbs. So if they don't have something that they can look at and say, yes, she's professional, yes, she does this, yes, she does that, they may go, no, we're not interested. You're only small time. So it's about credibility. No, I didn't. So it's about just having that presence online, no matter the size, giving you credibility and reaching new clients and persuading them, to contact you or book with you. If you've got an online booking system, like, it's just the way people are going now. People don't want to pick up the phone and do all of that. They want their answers like straight away. My slides are not saying the right thing. So among the new habits that we adopted in the last couple of years, we've learned to wear a mask and to get online. So like so many other aspects of 2020, the way brands and retailers do business changed forever. So the people that weren't online, didn't really do too much online, are now, doing everything online or via telephone, like everything from shopping, online training, online networking like we're doing today, doctor's appointments, the whole thing, like the ones that were reluctant before have now, had the time even to get online and, suss it all out. So, and, sadly, many of the brick and mortar businesses were forced to close their businesses permanently, while others had to quickly pivot. So when COVID hit, I had to turn off my inquiries for anywhere but my immediate local area, because I was waking up in the morning and I'd have like 30 emails from the US everywhere. And part of my responsibility with Wix is that I have to answer every one of them. So I had to turn it off. So I had a real mix of people that were panicked because they about their business and getting online. And then the others had time because they were in lockdown. So they started that new business and they, worked on their website and, those sort of things. So your website, another good reason is your website works 24/7. So whether, people are looking at you at nighttime, which is when most people might sit there on their phones and, have a bit of a browse through and do a bit of research looking for activities or, accommodation for their next trip. It's there. They're not having to, really, if you have a Facebook account or an Instagram account instead of a website, they're just looking at what's recent and, trying to find information. So another good reason, another good positive aspect is that it is quite, reasonably priced to have a website. So I wanted to put this up here because a lot of people don't know how much it actually costs. I'm only going to speak for Wix because I know them and I know their pricing. This has nothing to do with me. This is all, so if I built a website on Wix for you, then you would go in and choose your hosting and do it that way. It has nothing to do with me. So, you can get online for as low as $13.50 a month. And that's if you're not taking money on the site. If you're taking money, you need to look at the bottom graphic. And so your business basic allows you to accept online payments. So through bookings or whatever. Quality counts. So I would say if you have a bad website, you may as well not have a website. So it's, and I mean bad as in functionality or graphics or just jumbled or, I've seen them all. But it really matters because people won't hang around and have a look through or, and you lose credibility. An attractive website design with straightforward navigation, good copywriting that's clear and crisp will go a long way in establishing your credibility. And in saying that, I've got publish first, perfect later. So like back in the day, we used to have flyers and you had to get every I dotted and T crossed and, make sure it was perfect. Now you have a website. If you make it look good, you've got all your information on there. You can change it at any time. You can add, take away, change the graphics, keep it fresh. That's your new flyer. And of course, I still do lots of different flyers and, business cards and all that sort of thing, because that's still applicable to some people. Don't forget about the mobile view. So the mobile view is extremely important. So it's great to have, I work off a big iMac. It's great that it looks beautiful on here, but it needs to look not only beautiful, but easy to read, everything's functions properly. And sometimes that might mean that you need to take things away from the website on the mobile view so that it scrolls nicely, it works nicely. And that because so many more people are using mobile devices than desktops to look at your website these days. Optimize your site. So here it is. So I'm more the creative than I am the IT person. I'll never sell myself like that. I know the basics of what you need to for your SEO, your search engine optimization, but I will never sell you services like to optimize your SEO or do advanced SEO. That's a whole different animal. But if you have all your keywords and your page titles and your page descriptions and all that right in the back end, you're halfway there. Wix has a great SEO wizard, and they have a great like platform educational blogs about what else you can do to optimize your site. And of course, SEO is all about traffic, so social media, people going on it, like sending people back to your site as much as you possibly can will improve your ranking on Google. Start a blog. Now, everybody hates the word blog, but blog is an excellent way to increase your Google ranking. The right sort of blog, just the traffic again, the activity of doing a blog. And also they love it because it's looked at as you're refreshing your site all the time. Every time you write a blog, something's happening on your site, it's updated. So always consider that. You can look at it as news and tips or advice or new things that are happening. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a writer to have a blog. So online image. So this is what it's all about for me, what platform you use, whatever it is, it's all about online image and what do you look like online. And that's what you need to have a look at, is what are people seeing when they're looking at your business online. So this is my favorite quote. I live by it. Simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. So keeping it simple is sophisticated, classy, all of those things, but maybe that's not your brand. Maybe it's more fun and bright and playful, and that's okay too. You can still keep it simple. Be consistent with your branding. So I put the Chanel logo there because all of those big brands, Chanel, Gucci, Prada, like all of them are really, really simple branding. Like you won't find anything simpler. And they're the things that pop out, like the simplicity of it. And branding is more than just your logo. So it's the tone of voice you speak to people in. And I mean that in like on your site or on your social media. Are you fun and playful? Are you blunt? Are you professional? Are you creative? All of those things. So branding is like the whole umbrella. Logo is part of that, So again, I've got keep it simple. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to have a really nice, simple brand that's going to see you through. Okay, I wanted to show you a few examples of like what a good brand can look like and what it can do, like if you have the right branding. So this gentleman, he's called the Name Genie, and he has this online business that is for people they may have just got married and they've got to change their name. And there's so many things. So he automates it all for them. And his market was more, that probably 25 to 35 sort of age group that, may be getting married, like that sort of, and women. So this is what he came to me with. He liked his little genie. I thought it was a little bit boring, just the font, and, it didn't appeal to me. So I redid the logo, kept the genie, made it all gold, a little bit classy, a little bit trusting, a little bit professional, and made that blue more vibrant. And And so he went with that. So we did everything from his branding, website, flyers, Instagram posts, the whole bit, so that he has a consistent image online. So this is just a basic style guide. So it's more of like, the photos are more of like a feeling of what we were going for, his market, the colors, the fonts, and all of that. So what you should do, even if you're like tempted to, is keep the fonts the same and all the way through your whatever it is, online or offline. And your colors, of course. So these are just an example of the social media stuff we did for him. Fonts all the same, colors all the same, that same sort of feel. And his website, it was very intricate, actually, his back end of it, because it's an all like automated form, but we made it look good so that people trusted it. And that was the main thing, because they're giving away their information online. It was about, you know, making it really trustworthy and professional. So that was the little name genie. This one was an accountant, and it just was a little bit all over the shop. This is the before. And the girls, Robert Kennedy actually passed away, and the two girls that he worked with him stayed on, and they wanted to, like, you know, change the name and change the vibe of the whole business, because they're two younger women, and they wanted to attract that market to them. So we did a rebrand, and LBK Advisory was born. And it, as you can see, it's really succinct. It's still professional, because they are accountants. So we didn't want to make it frou-frou in any way, but it's just more personable and attractive. That was all the branding we did for them, just giving it a really like fresh overhaul. Instagram. And now I've done all the templates for the girls. They go online now and just do their own stuff, and it looks really good. I just wanted to show you a few of the websites with accommodation sites that I've done. I haven't done anything that sort of like, you know, activities or stuff like that, but I have worked with, he's actually in New South Wales. He has one of those trikes, you know, the big, and he did his site with me, or I redesigned it for him, and he's got an external booking system. Wix have a booking system as well, but a lot of people, like this one, for instance, they have an external booking system, and it's made for accommodation. You know, Wix do have a Wix reservations, which I have one client that uses it. But, you know, there's so many different ways to go, and it's what suits you and what works for you and your business. So with this, the accommodation sites, even though it's about accommodation and you might not have accommodation, they're a really good example to show you that, you know, like having really good photography, and, you know, like people being able to see what bed they're sleeping in, or what outside looks like, or whatever your product is, that's what people want to see. And it's more the visual these days than the actual wording, although the wording is important, of course. But people don't want to read, you know, pages of text to find out what their bed's going to, you know, be like. This was another one in WA. Again, they use an external booking service, but they also offer a bottle of wine if you book direct with them, because they're not paying the booking fees, you know, through the booking platform. So again, they've got beautiful photos that they had taken. And if you can't afford a photographer, that's okay. You know, like our iPhones and all of that are doing such a great job these days. There's no reason why, you know, we can't get some good photos without using professional photographers. This one was very interesting. The couple are, what's the word, eccentric a little. And it's up in Queensland, and they have got Your African Escape in Australia. So I redid their branding, redid their website, all of that sort of thing. But it's really clear again about, you know, because it's an Airbnb more so. And, you know, you can see what the actual room looks like, the bathroom looks like, the outdoor deck, the pool, you know, all of that. And the other important thing to me is that if it's a smaller business, especially, to have a photo of yourself on the site is, you know, it's amazing. Like, I don't really want to go and stay with Bob and Jane in their Airbnb knowing they're like sleeping next to me somewhere if I don't know what they look like, you know. Yeah, I think it's important to put your face behind your brand. Wazza's a Patong apartment. Wazza's website was a mess, and we did a really quick logo, you know, some branding for him. But again, the importance of having those photos clearly stating, you know, how much it costs, you know, and he uses the Wix reservation platform. So he's got a calendar you can book through, but then he's also got all the booking platforms that he belongs to. So, you know, you can choose where you book. But as you see, he's got Airbnb, Home and Away, booking.com, etc. But he would love you to book through him. So, ways I can help you. I can answer any questions. If you want to give me a call at any time, if you've got specific questions about your online image or website or whatever, I'm happy to have a chat to you. I do redesigns, new websites, branding kits, Canva graphics, like, you know, whatever it is that has to do with your image, especially online, then I can help you. So, but yeah, feel free to give me a call at any time. I told Laurie that I would give everyone in the group something. So, if you mention when you contact me that you are on here or have watched this, I'll give you another further 10% off, because I do offer 10% off some of my packages already, off any of the packages. And a proposal will be me looking at your site and going, this is what I think you need, and, you know, packaging it up for you. I don't believe websites should cost thousands of dollars. And I'd really try and, you know, like keep my pricing and everything affordable for people. I just wanted to quickly talk about, because I know I've mentioned Wix because it's the only thing that I use, but there is Shopify if you have products, there's Squarespace, WordPress, and you just really need to look at which one suits you. But for me, as I said before, Wix, and I think Squarespace might be similar, is something that I can do your website for you, make it look great, make it function how it's going to, and you have a pretty good chance that you're going to be able to maintain it yourself. It's easy to use. It's easy to maintain. If you want me to include like an hour training or whatever, you know, I can do that. But there is a million YouTube videos about how to do this, that, and the other. And I know that if you know your way around online a little bit, you would be able to work it out. So, and that's the other reason that I use it, so that I can, you know, keep, because people don't want to pay $200-300 a month just for somebody to change photos or, you know. So thank you.
Brilliant, Evie. Thank you so much. No, that's really great. And I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
everyone online sort of offers outdoor adventure experiences and things that I suppose we know people look online for, but the whole thing is to get them away from screens and part of that activity. What sort of things are really important to try to capture on their websites to get that cut through of people going, oh, I need to do that?
I think like activities and adventures, like it's about speaking to your audience. So to me, it's always a visual thing. So like showing them what the adventure is, showing them how they're going to feel maybe, testimonials, you know, all of that sort of stuff. More and more, as we all know, we're going more towards video. So even doing some, like getting some of your people after they do an activity or an adventure to do a quick video. And I know it's the last thing you want to be thinking about, but it really, really helps. You know, you can post that on your website, you can post it on social media, you know, it goes, content goes a long way. Yes. So even talking about the photography professional versus whatever, just taking shots, you know, all the time that you can use as content. But for me, that's, I think the one thing that I'm good at is like connecting with the business or the person or whatever it is, and really trying to get a personal website rather than just a cookie cutter, you know, here you go, got to put this photo here and that photo there, you know, so but showing them and making them feel a certain way, you know.
Yeah, perfect. And I love that you mentioned video, because I know a lot of our guys use video on socials, but you don't see a lot of that on some of the websites. So it'd be great to have that complemented. You mentioned the blogs and obviously the updating of that. Certainly Google takes lightly. Are there other tips that you need to think of to optimize your Google ratings? The SEO you mentioned. Is there other tips?
I think you know, the main thing is making sure that you have the correct, you know, keywords. And, you know, like to me, it's all about, think of a keyword as like what people are searching, what are people putting in Google to find you, you know. You know, mine might be, well, like websites in Adelaide, or, you know, websites in Australia, you know, or Wix websites, you know. So it's about finding those keywords, putting those keywords throughout your site.
Yes.
Putting them in your page description. But with Wix, and I'm sure a lot of them would have it, they have a Wix SEO wizard. So it actually steps you through each like step of what you need to do before you can even connect to Google.
Yeah.
Another thing that I learned this year is Google My Business. So I always just thought, you know, it's a map. You know, might find their phone number. But I did some training around it, and I was really impressed. I used it for one client because I do her social media. So I said, we're going to work on the Google My Business now. And like when you search, she's a hairdresser, so you can imagine how many hairdressers there are around. She comes up first now because of Google My Business. Yeah. So it's really important to me now to treat your Google My Business as another social media platform almost. Yeah, you know, absolutely. So you go on there, whatever you've put on, you know, Instagram that day, go and put it on Google My Business as well. Reviews, you know, through your Google My Business account and stuff like that.
Yeah,
no,
that's really interesting.
Yeah,
really good point, because actually it was only released this week that if any of our business are ecotourism accredited, that now appears on your Google My Business. So they've actually integrated that just this week.
Nice. And you know, so there's a spot on there to put offers, you know, promotions, photos, your customers to put photos, you know. It's valuable.
Very good. And just on updates, how often should people update their website?
Look, the general feel of it, like to me, even my website, I feel like I change it every couple of years. You don't have to do that. I'm just like, I see a new bright shiny thing and I and I want it. But I think keeping it fresh. So even if it's just the homepage, like maybe every 6 to 12 months you look at like updating the photos, but if you've got like an activity or an adventure or accommodation in that, you probably would find yourself like updating a bit, adding like new events or whatever it is. There's some great like booking systems through Wix that you don't have to outsource if you don't want to. Like they have an event app, which I really like because it looks good too and it operates really nice, and you can sell tickets. So you don't have to go through Eventbrite or any of those other platforms. But I would say, just keep it fresh, like every 6 to 12 months. Blogging, if you're going to do it for SEO reasons, maybe try and do, one a week. But if not, even one a month is going to be better than nothing, because people will go and they will look and see the last time you did one.
Yeah, brilliant. Does anyone have any questions? I've got one last one while you think of any questions you want to ask, Evie, but it relates to domain names. I think a lot of people concentrate on, the right domain name. What is your feedback on the importance of domains?
I think consistency is great across all your platforms. So if I'm Evie Forster Creative, that is my website domain name, eviefostercreative.com. My Instagram, my Facebook, everything is Evie Forster Creative. So there's no dashes or whatever. I want to try and keep it all the same. That to me is important because people could put in, something similar and never find you. And also if you wanted to use some of those keywords, my friend is an SEO expert and she says that even having other domain names, so I would have Evie Forster Creative, but then I might have Wix websites, adelaide.com, and point it to the same website, because if someone searches that in Google, my website has a better chance of coming up than Evie Forster Creative would.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Really great feedback.
So, and not to make them too long. All of that simple. Yes.
Beautiful. Any questions from any of the attendees today? It's a lot of information there for you. Great. Thank you so much, Evie. That's awesome stuff.
Pleasure.
And can I just emphasize to everyone, obviously in this current day and age, we have people, and as we've talked about previously, and the shifts and changes and trends in society, we want to book as late as possible. We want to ensure that we have really good processes to capture them with less time than ever before. And people just want everything now. So make sure you look at how people can either inquire or book with you and make it as seamless as possible to make sure your website works the best for you. Needless to say, it's not changing, and I think we're all becoming more time poor and wanting to exchange more quickly. Thanks again, Evie. In the last 10 minutes, I'll run through the AGM stuff, but if you want to stay, you're more than welcome.
Thank you. I'll say goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, great, guys. So just quickly in the last 10 minutes, I'll take you through what the AGM presentation that we gave, and in case you missed it, but apologies for those that were there if you're hearing this again. But let me just quickly take you through what we covered. We obviously emphasise what we stand for as an organisation. You hear that from me pretty much every Friday, so I won't go through it again. But the importance of the conversation that we have around health and wellbeing is certainly connecting with the day and age that we're in right now, and obviously the different areas that we can partake at that opportunity. The vision of having healthy, fulfilled lives, but our mission really here is to facilitate partnerships between the outdoor industry and the community so we can navigate through best practice and we can build the capacity for you to do what you do best. So we do that through advocacy, and that's obviously been a large part of what we've been doing in the last 18 months. But we've also been in the promotion space, the education space, and the connection space. And again, just making sure that you guys have the tools and ability to do what you do best. Sorry, I keep going backwards for some stupid reason. We also have some subcommittees in our organisation that help drive activities, and they include our risk response committee and also our risk management group. So they look at incidents that might happen in the industry, and we work with them to improve processes and opportunities from that. But they also look at the risks associated with our sector, and we try to provide tools for you so you can assess and work through that. The Trail Bike guys looking at trying to instill some safe practices there, work with landowners, and get some mutual achievement and outcomes from that. And similarly, the mountain bike group. So understanding the growth in mountain biking, what can we apply in best practice and help navigate them. And climate change, which is a huge issue in our industry today. And attending the insurance conference this week, I think it's certainly become the most important risk to all businesses. And of course, we're at the core face of that. So we need to be right on top of it. So last year, we had a very small opportunity where we could get together and we had the Australian Camp Association conference, which some of us on screen attended, but it would have been great to do more of that this year, but unfortunately we couldn't. But still, what we have is a massive opportunity for that next year, and hopefully get back to that $7.7 billion, and if not more, and bring all our employees back, because that's certainly what the factor of our industry was before lockdown. But what we did this year is we looked at key things. One was operations for the future. And in that, we looked at our financial operation improvements. We looked at policies and constitutional review. We looked at database improvements, regular communications. And as members, you know, you get weekly communications, monthly industry communications. The subcommittees were a big part of that background operations for the future. And obviously, website project, looking at how we can provide more with the website that we have. We also looked at effective collaboration, and we set in place some MOUs with stakeholders that had similar outcomes to what we were trying to achieve. We have regular meetings with key stakeholders from literally all through the year, but regularly, which is really important. Volunteering on projects like the Parks and Leisure Australia Awards and the IAP2 Awards gives the outdoors a little bit more focus in some of the aligning sectors in which we operate. And attendance at events that we could get to, but also submissions in management plans, Crown Land strategic plans, the ACARA review, again, standing up for our industry and making sure that considerations for all of you are taken into account. Advocacy fell into here at both state and local level, but also we started to look at federal level as well in working with the OCA and seeing what leverage we can get from the federal level. And being available for members, that is a big part of effective collaboration. Then we looked at program building. So we started with things like the AAAS audit program, which has helped a few businesses to date and hopefully many more as they review their practices against the AAAS. We had the Know It conference, which was a start, a stop, a start, a stop, but we finally ended up with the precursor in this financial year. The subcommittee actions and plans, they have been amazing. And again, thank you to all our volunteers who are part of those subcommittees. That's certainly blown my expectations of what we're hoping to achieve with that, and we continue to achieve with our subcommittees. We had the promotional campaign with the ACT outdoor experiences and getting more awareness of what is in the outdoors area of Canberra as opposed to some of the usual attractions that people know. And we also won the Youth Resilience Project grant fund. So that again is providing a great program for the future. The next area we looked at was capacity building, and this is where we start providing good resources, good information, and good knowledge and expertise to help you do what you do best. The Connect and Share forums, which we're on today, is a great source of content and information for the industry, and hopefully it's building your capacity in various areas. The severe weather guidance note was a great tool to build your capacity and risk management and planning for severe weather. The masterclass we held in March, which was great, we got that one in before lockdown, and hopefully we'll have another one next year. The grant success and one-on-one mentoring sessions, which on screen some of you have partaken in that opportunity, and that's been a great opportunity for you to ask some questions that have probably been burning for some time, and we can help you with. The next area was increased voice, and probably, as I said in the AGM, the area that I think I'm most proud of, and certainly, you know, the efforts of Leslie and myself in expanding our reach and expanding our awareness has been really great this year, and certainly showing that in the growth of membership that we've had, growing that by 13% year on year, and also education on issues and opportunities, and creating ambassadors for our industry as well. So that's been an incredible part of growth. And then just general awareness. So our Facebook, our socials, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, seeing more and more people interact with what this thing is outdoors, New South Wales and ACT, but then driving more content through to you as members of our organisations. I was able to present at the PLA conference in Coffs Harbour this year. And obviously media exposure, which we had last September, and I hope that we don't have to go there again this year, but getting real key items of interest into the media, and again, increasing our awareness as an industry. So we had some great successes in the year, and obviously we've got a lot more on the horizon. So what we are looking at for this year is we need to return to work, which, ooh, why does that keep going back? Let's go that way. We need to return to work. We need to get back safely. We need to get back to activity. People are after information and advice. They're after staff, getting their staff back and their volunteers back. And they want the big issues dealt with, and they want the right customers. But most important of all, we need to be sustainable as an industry. All of these items are what we are looking at for our year ahead. We're already on the track of many of those with the workforce development activity we're doing in career development, obviously continuing our Connect and Shares and information for our members, but connecting with your needs. And I think the future is bright in the industry, and needless to say that, you know, we've got a long way to go in getting us to where we need to be, but we're on the track. And thank you to all our members who stood by us in the last year, and hopefully will continue to do so in the year ahead. So that was pretty much the presentation from the AGM, but also still rings true that, you know, thank you to everyone who continues to be part of our Connect and Shares and membership ongoing. And we hope that what we provide to you is of benefit and continues to help you grow and achieve great stuff. So on that note, 10:59. There's 1 minute left. Anyone got any questions or comments from today, or anything anyone wants to raise? No. Fabulous. Well, we might leave it there until another week. We've got our happy hour at 4 o'clock if anyone wants to join us for another chit chat in the outdoors. Other than that, we will see you next week. Have a great weekend, guys.